Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Cardolicchio. I want to welcome you to another segment of Destination Health Podcast, Finding Function in a Dysfunctional World. I'm very excited today. We have an incredible guest on. This is important information. So right off the gate, right out of the gate, I want to say, share this with as many people as you can, because this is going to be important information. Want to welcome T. Barnes to our program. T, how are you doing today?
I am great. How are you, Dan?
I'm not doing so bad today. I'm actually doing quite excellent. Looking forward to our conversation. We're going to talk about toxins and stuff like that, which is extremely important because we don't know where these hidden toxins are. And you're going to motivate, educate, and inspire us today. So Therese T is the household toxins health specialist and the head guru at the Green Living Gurus. I love that.
Thank you.
Entrepreneur, activist, podcast host, educator, spreads awareness of chemical exposures that can cause many autoimmune illnesses, cancer, and many other different types of ailments. You help families and individuals worry about cancer and other illnesses by identifying carcinogens and harmful chemicals in their lives and homes that can potentially harm their health. Very, very important. Let's get right into it. Why are you doing what you're doing? What happened? What was that moment?
Well, can I take it back a few decades?
You can take it back as many decades as you want. This is your show, T. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here.
All right. Well, it's interesting to see. I love seeing where people came from, because then you figure out where they, or where they came from to figure out where they are now. But so I grew up in Buffalo, New York, right in the city, 3 older sisters, younger brother. My mother, everything in this, I'm 59 now, but everything in the 60s and 70s was getting into the fast foods. And
that's when it changed, T, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the 70s.
Yeah.
Right?
Think about all 70s. The commercials and Burger King and McDonald's and spray
TV
everything.
TV Hungry
dinners. Man. Yeah. Fast food. Everything was fast and everything was clean with chemicals. And we grew up, no fast foods. We had to clean every Saturday, and we cleaned with baking soda and vinegar, still do to this day. And she taught us that don't use those chemicals, don't eat that food. Those are loaded with toxins. She was so ahead of her time, and she knew, and she worked in our tiny little corner Lexington Co-op health food store that actually is I still shop there to this day. It's a little bit bigger now, but so when I got a little bit older, I started realizing we were kind of the abnormal ones, and people started calling us granola heads. And so when I went to college, I went to Ithaca College in the 1980s in central New York State, which is kind of like a granola city. But I went there it is totally, Moosewood is there, the restaurant Moosewood. And anyways, so when I went to college, I decided I wanted to open up a large health food store. I got a major in business, a minor in health. I had this great business plan for this supermarket that everybody knows is Whole Foods right now. But I never pursued that career or that dream because I was also a big time party planner. I was a party planner in high school. I was the party planner in college. And I came out of college a party planner. And I've been planning parties and events and weddings and festivals. I have my own business too, called the Events to a T. And I've been doing.
I'd love to play on T with your businesses. T. It's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. So I was lucky to line up with a lot of athletes here in Western New York, including Jim Kelly and many others through the past 37 years. But during that entire time, I was educating myself on toxins. I was taking courses. I was reading books. I was helping people. Then people started, family, friends, everybody, wanted to know. I would give free information out. I had cancer patients coming to me, wanting me to go through their homes and show them where these potentially cancer-causing chemicals could be coming into their homes and get into life. So I did that. And then at age 57, 2020, prior to the pandemic, actually, I said, you know what, 2020 is a great year to pivot over to what I really want to do. And so I started Green Living Gurus. I really didn't know what I was getting into. But once my event planning business was pretty much no longer because of the pandemic. It gave me time to really focus on what I wanted to do. So I really, past 2 years, that is what I'm doing. I am, as you said, I'm helping people basically detox their homes, and specifically household toxins. And I also have a product line that I came up with because I was making an all-purpose cleaner and room spray and giving it out as gifts. And then everybody wanted more. So I decided to manufacture
I was
it.
going to say, you might as well manufacture it at that point and sell it.
That's what we're doing. So I'm new, in the spectrum of things, really. I'm still in the first 2 years, and I have a podcast as well, like you do. So it's been a dream of mine. I live, eat, breathe, sleep this. I am so passionate about it. And I want to help as many, of course, as many people as possible really learn about what's out there, because they are not being told.
No, they're not. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. Nobody knows what the, dirty dozen is. Nobody knows what the clean 15 is. Am I using plastic in my drinking water? Am I giving my children, pajamas that are just laden with chemicals? They're flame retardants. I think it's this year or next year, maybe this, where the flame retardant on couches and upholstery is going to end because it's just so toxic to our body. And I will tell you, T, that I will always start off 100% of the time, my patients, with a metabolic detox. Because if you don't do that, and I start working on the gut right away, or if I start working on their hashies right away, or if I start working on their diabetes right away, I don't get the results that I'm getting right now with going through that detox. And I make it in combination with food sensitivity testing. Boy, is it such a game changer in my office. And within the first 4 to 6 weeks, everybody says, listen, let's get ready to rock and roll. And what's next? And I know that they're ready to go. So tell me, when you go into somebody's home, what do you do? What is it that you're looking for? What do you tell them to get rid of? And what do you replace it with?
Yeah, well, it's a process, of course. One of the things I do use is an indoor air quality monitor. And I like to bring that in with me because that gives you some idea of the measurements of some of the chemicals that can be floating around someone's home. The VOCs and the formaldehyde and other such. And
what are the ones that you find the most when you do this?
Well, the VOCs, is very common. But the point behind an indoor air quality monitor is that they can actually see. They can, because obviously typically can't smell it. And they have to either believe me but if they see this indoor air quality monitor, and I can show them, I have pictures of it, my indoor air quality, and compared to what their house is releasing gases and from cleaning supply. So really the focus is looking at that indoor air quality. And you probably know this, that indoor air quality is 2 to 5 times, some people say 2 to 20 times more polluted than the outdoor air. And that's the FDA actually even reports that as well. So our indoor air is so important for our overall well-being. I know our food is very important, but what you're breathing in every single day in your house, right?
Right.
So the air, and then I start educating them a little bit on how are these toxins getting into their home. So one of the first areas that I really look at is the laundry room. And it's a very simple fix too, but I try to help them typically they're using bad laundry detergent. So they're sleeping in chemicals, potentially they're wearing chemicals all day long, right? It's venting out into the house. You lay on a couch with any chemicals on your clothing, the clothing will then could potentially pick up those chemicals. And you're also venting it out to the environment as well, which is also terrible for our environment. So that's one of the first areas. I try to start slow. It's a very overwhelming process. Some people can only take so much in on these things. So that is one. And then the other big one is that I start with are cleaning supplies, because they're using them all the time. Some are using them every day, especially with kids in the house and things that are on the floor and counters, and what are, kids, their hands are going.
Hands are all over the counters. They're all over the food.
Yep.
We're doing the same thing, right? As
Always,
adults.
definitely. Yeah.
Sure.
We're breathing these in, and then they get, all these chemicals can actually get in the dust in the floor. And if you're not cleaning all the time, then that's circulating throughout your house too. So those are the starting points.
Those are starting points. And let me ask you a question. Are people receptive? Because I know sometimes it's hard to make these positive lifestyle changes, if you will, right? Do you find that individuals are a little, standoffish?
They are. It's been a lot easier over the past couple of years. People are more conscious of it. Sort of a double-edged sword. Some people are even worse now because they think they have to use more chemicals to get rid of the coronavirus. But people are actually, the people I love working with are realizing, like, oh boy, we want to be as healthy as possible. We want our immune system boosted, because these chemicals actually can suppress your immune system, right?
Tank them. They will
Tank them. And they can also, there's proof that some chemicals out there, especially the PFAS chemicals that we can get into, but are actually suppressing the immunity, boost the shots. I can't think of the name, the shots that you got for COVID. Anyways, so
yes, you can't say that, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, thank you. But the bottom line is these chemicals are in our body mixing up. Nobody has any idea how they're all mixing in with our organs and our system. And our system, as you very well know, is meant to detox, but not when there's an overloaded amount of chemicals.
And I think that this is an important aspect, and this is important for everybody to understand, is that we do have detoxification systems, right? And the liver is probably the main detoxifying organ, but there's that limit where it becomes over, where it can't handle everything. And you're
right.
We're just bombarded with everything. I mean, I live in New Jersey, growing up in northern New Jersey. Tia was talking about this. We were talking about this in the office the other day. We were like, either we're living into 200 or we're not going to live at all, because we grew up next to chemical companies dumping stuff in the Passaic River. And I think there was Agent Orange, one of the major companies, and we were right in that neighborhood. So either we're living to 1,000,000 years old because our bodies have just had a startling metamorphosis, but that's not going to happen. But we were just exposed to all of these different types of chemicals that you have. And I remember sometime in the 70s, these TV dinners came about, and, Hungry Man, all of that stuff. And, life got a little bit difficult, or a little bit more busy in the 70s. You're going to high school. I'm 60 years old. And so what happens is that, you come home, if mom didn't cook that night, maybe mom and dad went out to dinner. There was the TV dinner. I remember eating this stuff and feeling horrible afterwards. I remember having the brain fog at the age of 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
Because for us, McDonald's and pizza was a normal part of your life. There was a pizzeria right down the street from us, 99-cent pies on Thursdays. You can buy 10 pies. You can eat for the whole entire week.
Wow.
And that's what we did back then. Talk about foods now.
Yep.
Because you think that you're eating, healthy, broccoli, cauliflower, I'm going to eat an apple. This is good. People don't know that an apple is on that dirty dozen, right?
Right.
So let's talk about that. What are your thoughts?
Well, I am a huge proponent of eating as much organic as possible. I've been to some of these farms where they have sprayed these chemicals, especially the strawberry farms out in California. I live nearby them. And watching these farmers spray these chemicals all over these products. If you saw that, you would never eat that those strawberries ever again. And they are out there with gas mask and full white suit for
They
a
have the
reason.
hazmat suit on.
They have the hazmat suits on spraying these chemicals. So that just is a sign that, you are eating these chemicals and people think they can wash them off. You really cannot wash them off. Maybe a melon, maybe if you can, the bananas potentially, but anything with the skin on it, you are potentially eating these chemicals, and they've gotten worse over the years.
Mhm.
And you try your hardest. I know some people say that organic food is more expensive. I shop farmers markets. I use every inch of every vegetable that we buy. We do not throw anything in the garbage. It goes in the freezer. Then we boil it and we make soup out of it. And you can make it go a lot longer than you think and get a big bang for your buck. So these are just little things, but it's so important that you really try to eat organic as much as possible. And
I agree with you. And I think it's worth the extra pennies that you're going to spend, because if you cut down on buying processed foods, we'll say, and this is what I say to all my patients, you're going to cut down on buying, I got 3 kids. I'm buying, I'm buying this cereal. I'm buying that cereal. I'm buying these cakes. I'm buying these pies. I'm buying these little snacky things. You don't buy any of that stuff. And if you get organic fruits and veggies, I think it's much better. And, I have a 14-year-old, and not that my 14, and I'm a nutritionist, I'm a chiropractor. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Well, maybe in my eyes, because he's my son, but otherwise, when it comes to eating, he's not perfect, because when we're at a hockey tournament, if we're in Buffalo at a hockey tournament, and they're going to go get hamburgers because we got 2.5 hours.
right.
I tell him, maybe you don't get the cheese. Maybe you're not getting the fries. Maybe you're getting something, maybe get a salad or whatever, or get some chicken, and he does that at times, but it's not all the time that happens, because, it's tough to get the younger kids to do that. But overall, he's pretty good. So it's important, because I think that if you get rid of all of that stuff, my dog's barking in the background. If you get rid of that stuff, you're really not spending that much more money, because if you look at people going to the food store, especially during what we're just coming out of, what was the first thing that went was all of these processed cakes and candies, right, T?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's crazy. So save your money on that, and let's not even get involved in that, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. And something that is really important, especially for parents with young ones, get them involved in the kitchen, get them involved in cooking, even if it's just cutting, because the more that they appreciate food, the more they're going to enjoy eating the good food instead of everything out of a box. Start eliminating things that come in a box, and start with using as much fresh ingredients as possible. And that's same with snacks. Have them start to pack their lunch, have them start to help make the snacks or put the snacks together. It's really important. And I think that's a huge benefit for parents trying to get kids to eat healthy.
They take ownership with it, and they're more apt to eat it.
Exactly. Have them also start a little garden. Have them see where a bean comes from, or a basil. They get so excited. We grew up like that, even though we lived in the city. I loved growing basil in the summer. It's so fun just to, pick a basil or dill, and kids love that. Love it.
Yeah, sure. And there's somebody in our tribe that does this, by the way. You know who I'm talking about?
Who are we talking about?
Katie Kimball.
Oh, Katie Kimball. Exactly. Love Katie Kimball. Yes.
Gotta love Katie.
Yes.
She's in Minnesota.
Love Katie. Yep.
We've done a couple of podcasts, and we were discussing having a podcast where my son, and we're going to do it live, and maybe you can be involved in this too.
I'll do anything you want me to do.
There you go. all right, empty your bank account. No, no, no. I would never do that. So we were thinking about having them cook, use knives. I mean, you're not getting your 2-year-old and you're going to use the big old, whatever knife, but appropriately being there, showing them. I think there's other benefits. This is a little sidebar. It helps their prefrontal cortex, decision-making ability, feeling good about themselves that they've made a meal. And when mom and dad aren't home, parents, significant, whatever that isn't home, they can make a meal and they're not going to burn down.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's definitely getting them involved and educating them on good nutrition and good food.
It's so important. And you don't have to be an athlete in order to have good nutrition. We're all athletes in some respect, whether we're standing up doing orthopedic surgery, or we're chiropractors, we're toxic specialists. My mom was a clerk typist. I mean, you have to perform during the course of the day, and these toxins really take a toll on our body. I'm 60. Over my right shoulder is my father's picture when he was 60. Oh, we look just so significantly different, T.
Wow.
By what he was eating and consuming and so forth all the time. So you go in and you look at the quality of the air. That's the first thing that you do. And then we're looking at foods. How do you replace the foods? How do you get clients to change those habits?
So I do also, the kitchen is definitely top priority. And we go through the refrigerator. I start pointing out a lot of people don't even know to read labels, and the ketchup, and looking at the ketchup ingredients and how much sugar is in so many of these products, high fructose corn syrup, and then the other 30 names that sugar can fall under. And then they start realizing how many ingredients that they're using throughout the day that have sugar in it, or different ingredients that are just not necessarily great for them or their kids. So the refrigerator is one. Another big area are pots and pans. I'm very big on pots and pans.
Yes, tell me about this. Let's spend a little time with this.
Yeah.
Because you can have Teflon and you can have all of this stuff that's on there, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
Teflon, actually, everybody knows Teflon as the nonstick, but there's nonstick pans and then there's Teflon. Teflon actually is horrible. So if you have any Teflon pans, get rid of them, because they're probably scratched and you're probably leaching chemicals into your food and the air in your house. So that, these PFAS chemicals that we hear a lot about. So I say stainless steel or cast iron. Now there are some the green pan I believe is okay, but the green pan, which is a nonstick, and everybody wants to have nonstick and do it quick and it's got to be easy. I only have cast iron and stainless steel, but I'm one where my pans don't have to look perfect, just like my lawn doesn't have to look perfect. The pans look like they've been used, and that's how pans should be. They shouldn't be perfectly sparkly clean. And
makes you feel good. Excuse me, but it makes you feel good, because you could be the wife or the husband of the household, and whoever's staying home, oh, look how nice that looks, right? But you're sitting there saying, no, those chemicals that you're consuming are just not good for you at all.
Exactly. So cast iron and stainless steel.
I get it.
And that's the definitely. So I've gone into so many homes where I've seen the Teflon pans with the scratches on them, and immediately I tell them, don't even donate them, because they are that bad for anybody using them. So
just throw them away at that point.
Throw them away, use them somewhere to shovel dirt.
But the dirt will get the chemicals, and then we have to worry about growing, right?
Right.
I get that.
No, throw them away. So that's one area. In storage containers that you store your food in, and getting rid of plastic. Glass is so easy. Glass is, you can buy it pretty accessibly and cheaply, right? And store everything in glass, get rid of plastic. Plastic is something we all, no matter what, even if you don't eat organic food, we all have to be conscious of trying to reduce our plastic usage.
Listen, you forget your water bottle in the car, it's heating, there's chemical reactions that happen, and you're just ingesting all of that stuff. And I don't care what anybody says, it's just not good for your body. T and I see this all day.
All day.
It's extremely important, you know, because my son will come in, he'll put his water bottle in after hockey practice, and you know, it'll sit there, and then the next day he's drinking it on the way. No, let's go get a new one. Or
Right.
Stainless
steel.
We have glass containers where we can put water in, and we can drink it up. I said, right there's the filter. We got a nice filtration system in the house, and we can go for that.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So here's something way off topic. Are you a Buffalo Bills fan?
I am such a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. I actually started, and this is such a side note, I started a club here called the Water Buffalo Club. And if I could reach and these big blue hats.
Go ahead, go for it. Reach. If you have one close.
Want to see it?
Let's go.
Oh gosh, hold on.
Let's see it, T.
You have to give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
It's okay. So T's getting her Water Buffalo hat. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. And I brought it up.
You're getting into the fun side of tea.
We got into the fun
the party side of tea.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is my club that I run here in Buffalo called the Water Buffalo Club.
Okay. Awesome. You're going to put it on for us?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I love it.
So this is what we wear to football games.
That's great.
Yeah, I just started that. So you know what? Part of being healthy is part of having fun too, right, Dan?
Yes, it is. You have to laugh. And the reason why I bring this up is to laugh. And then it's always good-hearted, ribbing back and forth. You and I are friends. I had somebody on the podcast that lives in the Boston area, and they're big New England Patriot fans. And they were saying that the Patriots had more Super Bowl rings than the New York Giants, because I'm a big Giants fan growing up in Northern New Jersey, season tickets, the whole 9 yards, grandfather, father, everybody's had season tickets. But then I look at them and I said 2 words to this person, and they're a really good friend of mine, like you and I are. I said, Eli Manning, because he's the only one that's beaten. So there's only 2 words I have for you. Wide right.
Wide right. I knew it was coming. You knew I knew it was coming.
You know I love you, T. So it's all,
good. Your head coach is somebody that I absolutely adore, that is from Buffalo. And so you're gonna have a good team pretty soon.
Well, if not, I'm gonna have to put them on the shelf for a while. But in the fall, even now I bleed blue. Although one friend of mine from Chicago who's written a book and been on the podcast, she was like 1985. They beat the Giants to go to the Super Bowl, and they beat the New England Patriots. They destroyed it. Anyway, let's get back to our program.
Okay, sorry. I could talk football all day. I love it very much.
We could do that on another podcast. We have another podcast called Bloomfield Avenue, and we can go at it hard there.
Oh, so I could do that.
You know what? You're exposed to all of these toxins. Boy, you can get so many health conditions when it comes to this, right? I mean, I remember migraines when I was younger. Again, we were eating so much. Lunchtime in high school, you sneak out. I'm sorry, Sister Mary. I snuck out. We went down 5 miles, and we went to the McDonald's. I got my Big Mac and my large fries and my large Coke. Boy, I wanted to sleep after that. But there's so many health conditions that can come out from this toxic overload. You can get leaky gut. You can get autoimmune, as you say, in cancer, from just being exposed to these toxins. We want to reduce those risks by taking away these carcinogenic materials, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. The limiting, reducing. We're never going to eliminate.
Can never eliminate. And,
never.
And there's no cure. There's no elimination totally. We want to make sure that we can, stop, give you the best chance, right, to live a healthy life. Correct.
Exactly. And some of especially with kids their organs are developing, and some of these chemicals are endocrine disruptors, which affect their reproductive organs, men and women, boys and girls. And it's critical that they are not exposed to them as much as possible. So that happens a lot in the personal care product area. So deodorants and lotions and shampoos and hairsprays and shaving cream, and that list goes on and on and on too. So anything that we adults, kids are putting on our skin, our largest organ, it has to be, you've got to read those labels too. And unfortunately, many of them are deceptive because there's not great regulations when it comes to our personal care products. So that's another area that you have to be very vigilant. That whole area to me is probably the hardest area for people to really understand, because the FDA regulates food, and anything that you're eating has to be on the label, right?
Right.
But anything that you're putting on your body, personal care products, all those ingredients do not have to be on the label. And it's very scary and it's very confusing. I call it chemical confusion, because the ingredients that are on these labels that people are putting in their skin and on their skin and on their bodies, and then you have fragrance on top of it, which people think the smell of their hair should smell like berries, and little do they know it's not berries. Or little do they know their laundry detergent is not smelling like lemon. And those are all serious, hardcore chemicals. So that is where I feel very sad, and for people that shop for these products and they're being sold and marketed to, and these companies
That was
know
exactly
what they're
my
doing.
words. It's being marketed as such because you know, we're children of the 60s and 70s. Then when the 80s came along, you know, fragrances were all over the place, and you had your shampoo, you had your conditioner. You tell two people, I tell two people, and your hair smells like fragrance. It smells like a floral bed, and all of that. And then you would put the mousse or you put the gel in your hair. I did do that because I went to Studio 54.
Well, of course you had to back then, but there probably weren't as many chemicals as there was now.
Maybe, I don't know, but we were using all of that stuff. Halston Z14 was my favorite. And so, you're just, it was in the glove compartment, by the way, in the car, because you had to reapply at some point during the first.
Of course.
Because why not? So we did that. We did that all the time. And so it was just so many chemicals, the shaving creams and the underarm. I mean, we went out, and we were going out on a Saturday night. I can't tell you what my mother used to call us, what we smelled like. As for when we're off the air, but she had a phrase, and it was kind of funny because that's the way it was back then.
Yeah.
But I don't wear any cologne anymore. There's no fragrances. I stay away from the popular soaps. I don't do that anymore because it's important to do. You're taking a shower, your pores are opened up because of the hot water and so forth. And if you're using chemicals and stuff like that, it's just not good for your health and all of that. I have a filtration system in my house. Do you have one in your house?
Oh, yes. You mean reverse osmosis? Or air? Because I have air too.
Reverse.
Yeah. Nope. I have reverse, and then also filtration for the shower water.
Right. So tell me, what are you doing to clean your home? What do you do? How do you clean your home? It's like, oh, I'm not using this product to make my wooden desk look all shiny, and I'm not going to use this to make my windows clean and make them all whatever. What is it that you use?
Well, this is a promotion because I use my Tease Organics all-purpose cleaner.
What's in them?
Right over my shoulder here.
Tell me, what's in those?
And then those are and it's a recyclable. Well, you don't have to recycle because it's hard for you to see but it's Tease Organics. Anyways, because we have a refillable bottle. So this is filtered water, very important, organic vinegar, and 7 different essential oils: clove, cinnamon, wild
Mhm.
orange, lemon, rosemary, and there's a couple other ones, eucalyptus, and all essential oils, all those essential oils and they've been around for hundreds of years.
Mhm.
And they have antiseptic, antibacterial, antiviral properties. So this is all I clean with, everything. I don't clean with anything else. Sometimes I just clean with soap and water. I love Dr. Bronner's. Dr. Bronner's I'll use just for floors and dust, so I even cleaned my plant, cleaned one of my plants today with Dr. Bronner's because it had some white bug mites on it. Just Dr. Bronner's it's Castile soap, plain old Castile soap. And they've been around forever. So I am, that's all I clean with. And I'd like to, that's all I need. And so a lot of people that only do that. I love my customer base because that is how they want to keep all those chemicals out of their house too.
What other products do you have in Tease Organics?
3-room sprays and then a refillable bottle right now. I mean, we're working on some other ones down the road, but those were our launch ones that we just launched in November.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I love that.
Thank you. It was kind of not a fluke, but I was using the product, or I was making it and giving it to people as gifts, and then they'd come back and I need more. And why don't you start a business? Because we can't keep asking you for you to keep making this for us. So that's how it sort of happened.
Okay, we're almost done here. See how it just goes fast, right?
Always.
It always goes when you're having a good time and you're having a good conversation. You talk a little bit about Giants football.
Wide right. Okay.
Are you a Buffalo Sabres fan?
I played ice hockey. I was a figure skater, played ice hockey. All of us girls, my brother is the head scout for the Buffalo Sabres.
Get out of here.
Yep.
Wow. I have to be nice to you now, right?
I know. Yeah. He's the head scout. He travels all over and he picks the draft pick, and he's definitely, but we've been diehard Sabres fans our whole entire lives. And then he was a coach for the Sabres, assistant, and now he's the head of the scouting department. So,
wow. Yeah. That's exciting because my son plays hockey.
I love it.
And he has, he's fallen in love with the sport. He's been accepted into a high school that has won state championships, goes into the nationals. They're a top team. And so word on the street, he has to work really hard this summer. He's going to work really hard, and he's been working really hard this summer because he needs to work hard. That's all I'm going to say.
Work hard on his hockey.
Yes, when it comes to hockey, he's going to work really hard. There are eight kids are graduating. 2 kids are going to other schools because they're graduating. And so, who's going into the North American Hockey League, who's going here, who's going there. So, coach told them work hard. So
there you go.
Yes, it's important to do. And so he wants to play. So if you were to give, we got a few minutes left here. If you were to give 2 or 3 tips, because we're going to continue on with this conversation because we're not done.
Sure.
We're not done yet. We're gonna make another a podcast. So tell me if you can give 3 tips, actionable steps to do right now to help somebody reduce that toxic overload in their house. What would you recommend?
So the number one thing that really can help immensely right at the beginning is reading your ingredients. But when you read your ingredients, and this is on all your personal care products and all your cleaning supplies, there's one word that you can look for, and do not buy it if it has this one word on it, and it's called fragrance. The word fragrance, we call it the other F word, because if people understand the history of fragrance, the history of fragrance goes back to the 1940s when Chanel No. 5 went to the government and said, we want a trade secret for our fragrance. We do not want to put the ingredient on our perfume. Otherwise, all the other perfume companies are going to steal our product and reproduce it. So that law is still in effect that anybody uses the word fragrance. I could put fragrance in Teas Organics, just the word fragrance. And I could put formaldehyde, benzene. I could put all these ingredients in here, and I do not even have to tell you they're in there. You're spraying those things on your skin. So that is probably the number one thing that I think is the easiest thing for people to start to pay attention to that word, because it's in shampoo, it's in lotion, it's in
everything, right?
Everything.
Because I see the word fragrance. I remember seeing it growing up and stuff. So that means I got to take my cologne out of my glove compartment right now.
Probably.
All right. I'll do that.
It's hard. It's really hard. And the word actually perfume or perfume, it goes under those three. There might be some other ones, but really the word fragrance. People come to me all the time and send me labels. What do you think of this? I said, what's the one word I told you to look for? I'm not even going to look at sodium benzoate and all these other chemicals on there. And fragrance, I forgot. So that is key to look for that word.
And the marketing is just so good, because back during those 80s, it was the beautiful people that were wearing this and wearing that and having this makeup or that makeup on. It was the beautiful people. They looked good. They were in great shape. They were on some island. They were going to dinner, white jacket for the guys, and handsome strapping guy. The woman had on a beautiful dress, and and you're spraying, we're going out today, let me smell nice today, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and people associate smells with positive things in their life,
right?
And it's a very hard thing for people to break emotionally, because you are mentally tied to this. People think that the smell of dryer sheets is the smell of fresh, clean sheets, and they've been thinking that since they grew up. And
so they're putting those little chemical thingies in there to
and they associate everything clean. And one girl said, oh my God, I don't know if I can ever get rid of them, because that's what I associate with clean laundry. And then when I taught her everything about dryer sheets and what's in them, she was appalled she was even using them because of how bad they are. Right. So it's hard for people, and I understand that. And it's getting through that to people, that you've got to get beyond what they have marketed to you as a company and conglomerates making billions off of these chemicals, off of our health. So looking at that is number one. And a couple other tips that are really easy, simple things that people can do wherever you live. Open up your windows. I don't care where you are, what time of year it is, open up a window, whether you're cooking in the kitchen or even a sliver. I don't care if it's 90 degrees or 30 degrees, just get some fresh air circulating throughout your house. So many homes are so airtight. I have a guy that tells me he does inspections, and he goes in these homes and he feels like he's walking through a coffin.
Yes. Because
you have no fresh air coming through your house. So that can help reduce your indoor air quality, to get some of the chemicals out of there and fresh air in. So open up your windows and take your shoes off when you come in your house. There's so many toxic chemicals outside that you are trancing into your home, again, on your floor, on your carpeting. You have dogs, you have kids, no matter what, they are getting into your house through your shoes. So take off your shoes.
Take off your shoes. Always do that.
I have a fourth tip.
Go ahead, go for it.
Because these are all about indoor air quality, getting your air, and cheap ways of doing it, right? Really important that you clean out your filters in all of your air conditioning units and your ceiling fans.
Yes.
So if you have those, clean them every few months.
And clean your ceiling fans, because you go up there.
You have to. Filthy, dirty.
On the top.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It is. And that dust is sitting in there that you do not want to be coming into your bedroom.
Inhaling into your system.
So those are just some easy tips for people to start to think about cleaning the air in their home.
Okay, T, where can they find you?
They can find me at a Buffalo Bills game. No, I'm just kidding. They can find me.
You're going to see T and I. We're going to be
Oh
at
yeah.
Giants against the Bills.
Too bad we don't
and
play you this year.
We're going to be, rumbling in the parking lot and
Oh yeah.
all of that stuff because it gets emotional. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It does. Okay. So thegreenlivinggurus.com is my website. And I have on there links to my podcast, links to social media, Instagram and Facebook. And T's Organics is on there. My blog is on there. So there's a lot of great free information on there, and sign up for my newsletter.
Awesome. That's going to be in our show notes so that you all
Perfect.
can do this. Contact T. If you have any questions, give her a contact, okay? Because then she can direct you or whatever the case may be to help you out. Because this is important information. Do this in my house too. So you must do this in order to remain healthy. Share this with your friends, your family, your neighbor, your coworkers, everybody, because this topic is extremely important. I want to thank everybody for listening in today. T, we're going to set up another one in the next couple of days. We'll have you come back on and we're going to rock and roll and we'll continue on with the conversation because I've had so many. When you talk, I just think of questions.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
dangerous.
that's what happens.
It's dangerous or not dangerous. I don't know, but we'll find out.
It's not dangerous, and just take it slow.
Right.
Don't feel like you have to throw everything out. Just take it slow and start educating yourself. It's very easy, and you'll start understanding a lot more once you start reading those labels.
100, especially the labels. That's very important. So T, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For being
anytime.
here today. Pleasure for you to have you here. Everybody live your best life, and we're going to have T back on soon. Take care now.
Bye-bye.